I recently read a story about Marissa Panagrosso, who worked on the 98th floor of the South Tower of the World Trade Center. Marissa tells the story of how when the first plane hit the North Tower, a wave of hot air came through her glass windows as intense as opening up a pizza oven. She didn't hesitate. She didn't even pick up her purse, make a phone call, or turn off her computer. She stood up and walked to the nearest exit and began the 98th floor descent to the ground. As you know, not everyone reacted the same way on that fatal day in New York. The question is why? In a word, change. We hate, resist, and find change to be extremely difficult, many times impossible. The experts conclude that one reason for so many people staying where they were was their inability to move away from a familiar, comfortable environment to one that offered risk and discomfort. In other words, they resisted change. We are committed to the status quo. We are vehemently faithful to what is comfortable, familiar, and safe. It's like we're in a movie we wrote. It's our story. We know the beginning, the middle, and the end. And to step out of that story without knowing what we're stepping into and exactly where it's going to take us, especially in an emergency situation, is painful. We fear the unknown. Keep in mind, change can come in many different forms in our lives. It can come in the form of tragedy, difficult choices, broken relationships, or even new opportunities. It can be voluntary or involuntary. And while not all change is bad, it does require us to move out of our comfort zone. So, why do we need to embrace change? Because the only constant in life is change. The old saying, if you do what you did, you will get what you got, is very true. Accomplishing anything great in life requires significant change. Many times, the only way to improve our lives is to undergo difficult change. If you lack the ability to adapt and grow, you will stall, stagnate, and eventually fail. Or in the case of those who resisted change at the World Trade Center, die. Here are just 4 of the many reasons why change is difficult and the remedy for each. Number 1, we often try to change too much too quickly. The old cliche, biting off more than you can chew, comes to mind. Going from no exercise to committing to running 5 miles a day creates a high level of stress and anxiety. The remedy? Inch by inch, it's a cinch. Yard by yard, it's too hard. Make small changes and make those one at a time. Small successes leads to more successes, which leads to momentum and, most importantly, consistent, lasting change. Number 2, our need to be perfect. Far too often, the change necessary in our lives is stalled by the need to be perfect. Not all of your change initiatives will turn out exactly as planned. Success can be measured a number of different ways. The remedy? Focus on the accomplishments, effort extended, and the lessons learned from the journey. Remember, imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. Number 3, we become discouraged after past failures. Because change is difficult, we sometimes fail. What we hope to be a lasting change at times fizzles quickly. Like the joke, I went on a diet for a week and lost 7 days. Past failures create fear and negativity, keeping us from succeeding. The remedy? Use others as an example. The top 5% of the most successful people in the world will tell you they have failed miserably before succeeding. What they will also tell you is that failure was the springboard to their inevitable success. Lincoln lost 8 elections, had 2 failed business ventures, and a nervous breakdown before he became the President of the United States. And finally, number 4, we lack knowledge on how to change. Sometimes we know where we want to go. However, we don't know how to get there. And the result, we turn back. Remedy? Just know you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. And if you don't have the answers, believe me, someone else does. Before you go on a trip, the first thing you do is get the address of where you're going. The next step, you get help. A GPS, MapQuest, or Google it. Every problem already has been encountered, and all problems have solutions. You just need to have the willpower to begin the journey. In conclusion, remember, the world around us changes constantly. Whether or not you change with it is up to you.